Chloe, this time it's a bizarre and scary story I heard in Korea about a man who got lost in the mountains. The main character was Jong Tae-hoon, who was 25 years old at the time, about 10 years ago. That day, Tae-hun had a huge fight with his parents about getting a job and stormed out of the house in a fit of anger. With nowhere to go, he rode his bicycle aimlessly for hours. When he came to his senses, he was at the foot of a small mountain. Feeling frustrated, he left his bike and started climbing the mountain without a second thought. But the problem was, he didn't know the area at all. After climbing for some time, he realized he was completely lost with identical-looking trees in every direction. Thinking a real man should push forward, he decided to just keep walking straight ahead. He had no idea that this decision would be the start of a terrible nightmare. To make matters worse, the sky suddenly grew dark and a torrential downpour began. In an instant, his surroundings were plunged into darkness and his rain-soaked body began to tremble. He urgently pulled out his phone to call 119, the emergency number in Korea, but all he saw was a message, "Outside service area." And soon after, the battery died. Left alone in the pitch-black, rainy forest, Tae-hun was seized by extreme terror. Just as he was about to give up all hope, thinking he was going to die there, he saw it. A faint light flickering in the darkness far away. It was a flashlight. The light grew closer, and soon an old man in rain gear appeared. The old man kindly told him to take shelter at his house and wait for the rain to stop before heading down in the morning. To Tae-hun, it felt like a savior had appeared in the middle of hell. He followed the old man to a rundown cabin deep in the mountains. Inside, there was no electricity. A few candles dimly lit the room, but there was something in the corner of the room that immediately caught his eye. An old door firmly shut with a large padlock. The old man handed him a warm tea that had a strange aroma. When Tae-hun asked how he found him, the old man gave a strange answer. "My son Yeong-su ran away, so I went out to find him and found you instead." Yeong-su? Tae-hun tilted his head in confusion. But then, the old man suddenly started speaking to the locked door. "Yeong-su, this young man wants to thank you." He muttered to himself towards the door for a moment, and then began to get angry. "I'll accept his thanks, so you just stay quiet in there. You're scaring the guest." In that moment, Tae-hun felt the hair on his entire body stand up. This old man wasn't normal. He quickly said his goodbyes and tried to leave the cabin, but the old man blocked his path with a cold voice. "Young man, you can't leave now. My Yeong-su is angry. You have to wait until his anger subsides." It was at that exact moment the padlock door began to shake violently, as if someone was throwing themselves against it from the inside. Bang! Bang! The doorknob rattled crazily. As the old man shouted at the door again, Tae-hun saw his chance and threw himself out of the cabin. He ran blindly through the rain all night and was found the next morning by a group of hikers collapsed from exhaustion. After he was rescued, he told the police about the cabin and the old man, but the hikers shook their heads. They said there were no houses in this area, only 2 old, overgrown graves. In disbelief, Tae-hun went with the hikers back to the place where he thought the cabin had been. But Chloe, there was no cabin. On the spot where the cabin should have been, there were only 2 old, abandoned graves. As if in a trance, Tae-hun stared at the tombstones. On one, the name Kim Yeong-su was engraved, and on the other, next to it, was the name of the very same old man who had saved him the night before. Who or what had led him to that cabin that night? And what was the true identity of Yeong-su, who had been struggling so desperately to get out from behind that locked door?